I've been in the military, in the Navy for 13 years now. 13 years now. And Mo was a Marine.
I got out. I did 4 years in the Marines, and I got out last year, and I'm back to school right now.
He got out in 2020. So, okay, how we met. The first time I've ever seen this guy, I was planning a Christmas party at our command. A command is pretty much where we work. So that was a joint command where they had both Navy and Marines working together. So upon planning this Christmas party, I go into his workspace and I'm talking to my coworker who worked where he worked at, because we worked in separate departments. And when I walk in there, I hear Fantasia, and I'm like, who's playing Fantasia in here? And they all point to him, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, what does this Asian man know about?
Wow.
Literally, that's how I felt.
I feel like that's so weird to me, just because like growing up in Bay Area, it's very diverse. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that label, that I guess that stereotype is kind of
ignorant.
It's still very new to me.
Yeah. I'm like, what is he doing playing Fantasia? Okay, but nonetheless, he turns back with this like sarcastic, like.
Not sarcastic. It was really
nonchalant. It was really nonchalant.
That's a better word, because I
wasn't
didn't
sarcastic.
care. I was like, I didn't care who talked to me. I was like, yo, why are you talking to me?
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah,
right? So he does that, and I continue talking to my coworker, but in my mind, I'm like,
he's thinking of me. Thinking of me.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's cute. Okay. And I left it at that, and then I continued doing what I was doing. After that happens, after that transcends, in my mind, I leave their work center, and I'm like, yo, he's kind of cute.
That's funny, because at that moment, I was also like, I saw her, I was too cool. I was like, all right, cool. I'm just, I noted, checked her. I was like, okay, she's cute. She's cute. And then boom. So that's funny, because like I would be like, okay, maybe when's the next time she's gonna come by? So I have to get my playlist game strong. You know what I mean? Like I would. You know what I mean? Like.
I got you. I didn't know that. Mind you, I didn't know that.
Whenever she comes, that she wants to continue to visit or just stay there for a little bit when you got good
Interesting.
So
Didn't know that part.
I use music to seduce your way here.
So then, time goes on. I go back in there and I tell my coworker, like maybe like a week or 2 weeks later, I was like, I think I had like a crush on the guy that works for you in your work center. And she was like, what? Girl, because I think he got a crush on you too. I was like, what? This is legit.
That's funny.
But I was like, don't say nothing. Because at the time, I mean, obviously we're both out of the military. Well, he's out of the military now. At the time, I'm like, I can't talk to him because he's a lower rank than me. That's fraternization.
But honestly, with you being in a whole
it didn't even matter.
department, to me, I was like, I didn't look at it as fraternization.
Should we just grab him for the story? Or just leave him? So anyhow, I actually tried to find his Instagram. I was like, yo, let me find his Instagram and see how he looks out of work. Because you can see somebody at work in uniform, you know, he clean cut, crisp. I'm like, okay, but how does he look outside in regular clothes? Because that's a big deal. Like, when I say big deal, not the clothes, but somebody's like persona and appearance out of work, if that makes sense, because he could be a totally different person out of work.
But I know what you're talking about, like how you dress really, you know, tells a lot about you.
Correct. So he had a clean cut uniform and everything, but in my mind I'm like, okay, so how does he look outside of work? So I think I finally told him the other day actually how I even found his Instagram. Like, I went through like a couple of people that we knew, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna just type in his last name. It never popped up. So I went to Facebook. So I went to Facebook.
What you put, King?
And I put King, and then I found it. I finally found. I was like, okay, but on his Facebook he had all these old pictures. I'm like, this is like real old, like high school old.
Yeah.
And you gonna get him?
No.
I ended up going and actually finding his Instagram from his Facebook. So I found his.
How'd you find my Instagram?
How did I find the Instagram from Facebook?
No. That's how you found me?
I found you from Seafood.
Right.
Yes, but I'm saying I found your Facebook first. But it didn't have the pictures that I needed to see exactly what I wanted. So then I go to his Instagram. Did I add you first?
You did.
Okay.
So that's where I guess I could step in. So I'm having brunch with the people, like, ironically, the people that I work with that knows her, right? Having brunch with them, and then they bring her up too, like yo, Kang, like, husbands, like, she actually, you know, she comes by and asks about you, stuff like that. And I was like, okay, so I'm just getting all the information for myself so I can do what I gotta do backdoor to get to you, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna use them, or again, you know, her being a higher rank and me being a lower rank than her, I was also kind of like iffy, like, oh, is this okay? Like, so I was just gathering information to them. I was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, so literally on my way back from that brunch, that's when I got a friend request, and I was like, yes, I'm in.
You was in. You was far from. But then he slid in my DM.
No, so that's
Okay.
also okay.
Well, he might have.
That's probably the only thing. That's the one thing that I always tell you it's not, because
you slid in my DM.
No, look. Goodness. I never wanted, like, our relationship to start from, like, yeah, he slid like this, like, slid in my DM and we started from DM. No, I wanted, like, straight, like, physical. Like, I wanted to be the person that will ask my wife's number, like, yeah, so I can tell my son, like, yo, go up there, like, you know, I did with your mom. These days it's really hard not to kind of, I guess, ask people, like, yo, do you like me, whatever. But I made sure, I was like, yo, you know what, if I'm gonna start talking to her, I'm gonna at least have a conversation outside of social media or anything like that, you know what I mean? So I would start parking very close to her cars.
Nothing to do with it.
Rule number one, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what?
I started to notice where she parked, so I would park it. I would steal her spot, or I would park right next to it. You feel me? So if I steal her spot, now we got a little fun game that we can be like, yo, that's my spot. That's like my, like,
never cared.
You know what I'm saying? I thought that was cute, so like I started doing that, and then soon enough, yeah, like we would bump, like we would go home during the same time, so we would have to talk to the car or something. I caught you, I don't know, I think it was after my lunch break. Okay. And I was leaving inside, I was leaving the car, and then you were going into your car, and I was like, yo, no, I'm sorry. It was when we were both leaving work, and I was like, yo, I didn't know you wrote a book.
That is a fact. Because
I went to, obviously I checked her Instagram after. I noticed that she wrote a book, and if you guys watched our previous video, she talks about her book as well as her as my mother-in-law. But going back, I actually really thought that was interesting, so I asked her in person. I was like, yo, tomorrow, if like whenever we meet, I gotta ask. So I had that question in my, like, literally over here everywhere I walked. So when I met her, I was like, hey, how's it going? Boom, boom. I didn't know you wrote a book, and then you said something.
I don't even remember what I said, but I was like, why you didn't get it or something like that. I don't remember.
I'm trying, like, basically, I don't want to buy it through her website. I want to buy it from her, like, exchange. And that's what led to us playing basketball. Oh,
you got far.
Yeah.
So I think what happened was he ended up, this is how he slid in my DM. He said, why didn't you, he hit me on Instagram after that conversation, and he said, oh, I didn't know you wrote a book. And then he wrote on Instagram pretty much like saying something to meet up, something about the book. It was something about the book. I can't remember verbatim, but we exchanged numbers, I believe.
Through Instagram.
Through Instagram, we exchanged numbers. We started texting.